we are drawing ever closer to the concept of individual footwear prescription. Biomorphic fit technology, PHF, and windlass mechanics are all driving us forward towards true customization of athletic footwear. And one of the biggest challenges facing our industry is to recognize the differences in biomechanics and running styles between men and women, and to develop gender-based design protocols accordingly. It is becoming clear that women are a dominant influence in the way athletic footwear is marketed. In fact, for the first time since we cared to keep track of such things, there are now more women runners than there are men. Despite this dominant market influence, running footwear is still largely designed and manufactured for male runners. This is despite the fact that women have significant injury issues compared to men.
Women have twice the incidence of anterior knee pain as male runners.
There's been only a modest recognition that there is a fundamental difference in the shape and structure of women's feet compared to men's feet, and yet
women are twice as likely to develop lateral knee pain as male runners.
Many women have major issues with fit and stability, probably because typically the female foot has a relatively narrower heel to forefoot relationship compared to men.
Female runners are 3 times as likely to develop buttock pain as men.
The result of this is heel slippage and reduced stability for women wearing downsized men's shoes.
Women runners have 10 times the incidence of low back pain as men.
Why do women suffer these injuries? And is there anything we as a company and the leader in technical running footwear can do about this? The reasons for these somewhat alarming injury rates are not yet scientifically established. However, anecdotally, we have excellent evidence that it has a lot to do with the particular biomechanics of female athletes and the way they run. It's been proposed that known differences in structure may predispose female athletes to differences in running mechanics. Because the female skeleton is structurally different to the male skeleton, women athletes run differently to men. This leads to different loading patterns, and over a period of time and many repetitions, this can contribute to injury. So what are the structural differences between men and women? Women have a wider pelvis than men, and a relatively shorter length of the thigh bone. As a result, women have a greater static genu valgum than men. In other words, their knees are somewhat knocked. If you look at good female athletes, you can often see that the angle from their hip to the knee is greater than for a male runner. Women have greater internal rotation of the thigh and hip than men, and the combination of these factors increases the contact forces on the kneecap. This may explain why women have twice as much anterior knee pain as men. Women have greater peak hip adduction. Hip adduction means the thigh moves towards the midline. Greater hip adduction angle and velocity place greater demand on the muscles responsible for counteracting these movements. In other words, greater loads on the butt muscles, particularly gluteus medius. Women runners turn out more than men throughout the entire stance phase of gait. This means that for athletic footwear, touchdown angle and recognition of the difference between touchdown angle is absolutely critical. The forces generated by women runners are also different to men. Women exhibit greater impact forces than men, and their knees flex less.